Thank you for coming and helping out.
All right, it's my pleasure.
Hope we get some snow.
I think we are getting some snow.
A little bit anyway. Not enough.
Well, the later into the night, the more snow we're supposed to get.
Yeah, well, hopefully most of us will be home before the
Yes.
big dump comes.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were only predicting that we were gonna get 1 inch, I mean, out of Grand Junction. The Grand Junction weather people, or at least on Channel 11. So, I mean, 1 inch is,
Not a big deal, but now they're saying there's gonna be a dump later?
no, I'm
They
just
haven't
saying,
changed it, okay.
no, I just
Yeah, I just
use
wondered.
the mountains.
Yeah, me too.
Although we need some down here too, but up there is much better. Speakers for the Democratic lunch bunch.
One, two, three.
Speakers for the Democratic lunch bunch.
One, two, three.
Speakers on the lunch sets. And they're really, highly
One, two.
It's kind of exciting.
Super.
Push for the Democratic.
One, two, three.
Yes, I have,
seen that.
yes, I got it on the email and we're sending it out via the web.
Montrose.
Oh, thank you.
It's on its way.
Okay, great. I think, these guys have such bios, I'm so impressed when I heard them. They're
Montrose,
so
Colorado.
educated,
Montrose,
and so
Colorado.
experienced, I think they'll be a really good presentation.
Yeah, I just hope I'm not too nervous.
Oh, it's the day of the caucuses, yeah, you'll have enough going on. It's the
Day of the caucus,
Your
yes.
excuse gone.
Yeah. But, I mean, we've got the packets done, so I mean, that part's done, so I mean, it's just lining up the last little details and so.
And I'm sure there'll be last minute things you want to think of.
Oh, yeah. Hi, welcome.
How are you?
Good, so if you'll come in and get your first name tag,
I'm Scott.
and if you'll tell me, Jill, which precinct you're in? Oh, you were Terry,
Yes.
or Terry Mullen?
Mhm.
Oh, right, yeah, you are 6. Yes, and Marcia already has your packet there, okay, good. But if you'll write yourself in your name, I'm kind of Pittenger, we kind of communicated email.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It sounds like they're gonna put it.
Well, or maybe it was on the phone, sometimes, I've communicated with other people, I did. I did.
Oh, good, we had fun.
Yes.
Originally,
Person.
person, Dana from the beginning. Oh,
Thumbs up. all for coming. This is our biggest crowd we had in a long time. So anyway, I need to get up here and be behind the camera because we are live streaming to our west end and our east end. And so that they feel included and we're being inclusive in our county. So anyway, so the first thing we need to do is stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. So next on the agenda. All right, so we're going to go right into our caucus training. And as I did say, we are live streaming to Mayor. And I know that Sydney is out there. Hi, Sydney. Call if you have questions. And I'm hoping that Richard and Paul are over on the west end listening in. So hello to them. And I will apologize to those people that when they got their packet, it was not organized in order. Your packets are all organized in order, so you can be thankful. Okay, so now I know I told all of you. Did you need to hook me up with the mic? Or are we just good?
Just continue.
Okay, all right. So now you can open up your envelopes, but I would appreciate you keeping them in order, please. All right, so basically what's going to happen, we're going to start from the very beginning. When people walk in the door on March 6th, just as you did, if you didn't know your precinct, we're going to find their precincts for them, okay? I have all of these papers, and the people that are on our extremities already. You will not get these. These stay in my possession. These come from the county clerk's office. So we will not this time be doing any affirmations of declaration if somebody thinks that they should be allowed to vote. If their name is not on this piece of paper right here, they are not allowed to vote. This came directly from the county clerk's office, so we will not be doing any affirmations. Okay, but we also have this on 2 computer disks, so we will have some people at the door working on that. So actually, you all will be, at your assigned tables, okay? We will have signs up so that you will know where your precincts are located. And I want you to be near your tables because I will have other central committee people, executive team members looking up people and sending them to your precincts, okay? So, but anyway, that's, if we have doubts about anybody, we have all the documentation right here. Yes, Meg.
How many precincts will be in one place?
Okay.
Is everybody together in the same place?
That's a very good question. Thank you. I did not answer that. So we have 3 caucus sites. Precinct 11 is way out on the east end in Mayor. That's where Sydney is. Okay? Then over on the west end are 4 precincts. Precincts 5, 8, 10, and 16 are going to be meeting in the Natarita Community Library. Okay? And part of our officers got together and we sent postcards to 2 of those precincts because they're very outlying. The people in Paradox and the people in Norwood Redvale area are going to be receiving postcards tomorrow since the post office didn't deliver today, inviting them to come. So, so they're meeting there. So 28 precincts altogether, 4 there, 1 there, that's 5. So 23 precincts will be meeting in Centennial Middle School cafeteria. Okay? So We will have 23 precincts in there. It will most likely get a little noisy, but I think it'll work better if we all stay together. I don't think we're going to have as many people as we did for the presidential caucus, so I think it'll be okay that we work together. Besides, when we spread out and go to other rooms in Centennial, we have to pay for those rooms, and they're like $100 a room. And so, and we are paying for Centennial Middle School. So, anyway, okay, so to look at the top sheet of your packet, okay, you will see a sheet that says Montrose County, and then a very long number that gives your precinct number, and I've underlined the key digits all the way over here on the far right. Okay, the last 2 digits are the ones that you actually need to pay attention to. All right, but we need to have all of those there. And then if you will look down here at the bottom, it tells you how many delegates that you have. Okay, the way that this was determined, we took from the census of all this paper here that I got from the county clerks. In Montrose County, we have 4,789 registered Democrats. Okay, and so how I determined how many delegates each precinct gets, I divided the total number. Fortunately, on the list from the county clerk's office, at the very end, it said how many names were on the list. Your list didn't provide that, the what's in your packet that you'll get to next. So anyway, so if anybody wants to come up and see my calculations, how we did the math, I mean, divided the number in the precinct by 4,789, and we got a percentage. Okay, and so that basically tells us how many delegates are in your precinct. Okay, so if you look at somebody else's paper sitting next to you and you go, wow, they get 8 delegates, we only get 3 delegates. Well, that's because they have more Democrats living in their precinct than you do. Okay, so I'm going to be using my home precinct, which is precinct 7. My precinct only gets 3 delegates. I don't have a lot of Democrats living in my precinct either. So our 2 biggest precincts are precinct 3 and precinct 4. So those are our 2 largest precincts, and those are downtown, in the downtown neighborhood. So okay, so anyway, so that's what you have that. So if you will turn. Okay, so people will start coming in the doors. We will be directing them to your precinct tables, and you will have large numbers on signs so that people, and we will try to put them in some semblance of order. So as they come in, we'll send them to you as soon as we figure out which precinct they are in. Okay, so the next packet of papers that you see that's in your paper clip. Okay, these are the names, and this is the official sign-in sheet. So as soon as people arrive at your tables, you can have them go ahead and find their name. These are all in alphabetical order. Find their name, have them sign over on the far right-hand side. And if they would print very legibly their email address and basically let them know that by putting their email address on here, they are giving us permission to put them on our email news, okay? And then that's all it's used for. It's not going any farther than just for our own county use. But when they put it on here, they are giving us permission to do that. So that, I mean, and I know you probably, most of you have been getting lots of emails lately because we have a lot of things going on right now. And then also if they would update their phone numbers so that we have current phone numbers, if they would put that on there. And then over basically, that's all they need to do. So this is the official sign-in sheet, and if they will then write in their email, if they would like to, they don't have to, and then also update a phone number for us. Okay?
What about
And,
the election judge and volunteers?
well, we'll get there later.
Okay.
Yeah. That comes almost at the very
I
end
want to remember that.
when you come back to that. So, yes, Sue.
Tell me what to do if someone comes in and insists that they should be on the list, but they are not on the list.
Okay. Well, for one thing, they probably are in the wrong precinct. If they come to your table and their name is not on this sheet and they think, okay, so if they bypass the people at the front door because they thought they knew their precinct number, okay, and then they get to your table, for example, and their name's not on here, then you're going to send them back to the front door, and so that we can look them up in this documentation right here. And then if they are not in this, we're going to say, you can sit over here to the side if you want to stay. They can stay, they can't participate, but they can watch. Yes,
So Connie, that documentation is organized by precinct?
yes,
So
yes.
then we need maps?
Well, yes, I will,
In case they don't, they give us their address versus.
right,
Because
right,
they don't know their precinct. Okay.
right, yes. I hope to get my other good map back that I've loaned out. Yes, Linda.
So I'm curious, what if, because of the law that we passed last year, what if somebody's unaffiliated and wants to participate?
They are not allowed to participate.
Not at the caucus?
Not at the caucus.
Okay.
The law does not allow them to participate in the caucus. The law allows them to vote in the primary. That does not happen until June. So, yes, and we will just, we'll say that. And if they want to stay and watch, they're welcome to sit on the side, but they may not sit at a table and participate. We cannot refuse anybody to be there, but we can tell them where to sit. So, all right. Okay, any other questions about that step? So they're coming to your table, they're getting signed in. All right, and then if they're at the wrong place, you send them back to the front door. We'll have maps. We'll have better maps that show the downtown area, that show precincts 3, 4, 9, much better than this big map does. And then we'll look them up and find exactly which precinct they're in. And then we'll send them to the correct table if they are registered. If they were not registered Democrats by January 8th, they cannot participate. So you have to be registered as a Democrat 2 months in advance, and then to update and be in your correct precinct, you had to have had corrected that information by February 5th. So if somebody moved right, like in January, and did not go correct their living information, they would have to go back and caucus in their previous, if they lived in Montrose, they would, or in the West End and moved to precinct, then they would have to go back to their previous precinct to caucus, okay? So their name has to be on your list for them to stay in your caucus session. Okay? All right. Any other questions? Yes, Jen?
We can tell them to go to Go Vote Colorado to change their information if they get busted just for not being up to date.
Yes, we can, you can tell them, yes, and it's Go Vote Colorado, as Jan mentioned. That's, you can go online and update your information. But if they had not done that by February 5th, they're going to be at their old location. Okay? And then that's where they have to caucus. Okay. Any other questions? All right, so, we are encouraging people to come as early as 5:30 so that, we can start at 7. So I would like you to be there no later than 6. So while people are sitting around signing in, you can do that. If you look at the next papers that you have, there's just a little paper of what we believe in as Democrats, okay? So this is just something that you can share with them, that they can be perusing. I only put one copy of this in your packet, However, we do have more copies, and those will be kind of in a central location if you need more copies of those things. The next handout down, volunteer survey. Again, something that they could be filling out. This is actually from the state party. This is not our county party. But if they would like, so if they fill this out, the volunteer survey, this information will be sent to the state party, so they will be called on. We did choose locations, that we have to have 100.
Okay.
A lot of ideas and getting all emotional, it's just best to keep that to the end. Isn't that what you would recommend, Connie?
Well, no, if you, it just depends. You can see how well things are going in your precinct. Every precinct is going to have different people, and so, work it the best you can. Then another thing that you're there for is
For us not to have to follow that, we had to become employees of
Elwood staffing.
Elwood, yeah, and then we can work for full time. So there was some silly rule about judges could only work 3 days and then they'd have to have 3 new people come in or however many new people come in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of
Yeah,
that.
but
So.
legal is right, but
Yeah.
there was a way to get around
And
that.
I turned it back.
Right. Well, and there was also, because obviously election judges are very temporary. And so when election season is over, technically, if you're an employee of the county, they would, if you wanted to pursue the issue, you could say, well, you've now fired me and I'm due unemployment. But, so that was also part of the reasoning of going and becoming subcontracted through Elwood. And so Elwood staffing, you have to go through their whole process, and it can be somewhat annoying, but once you do it, then you're in there for life. So if you have any questions about that, we do have, Jan Rosenbaum back there in the back, and Holly and I have all been election judges, and so we can kind of fill you in if you're interested in doing that. It's definitely an interesting learning experience. And so, just a little side note, for the last election that we had in 2017, actually, they were short of election judges, and when we were notified of that issue, we had several Democrats go and volunteer, and lo and behold, they were short of Republicans in this county of election judges. They weren't short of Democrats, they were short of Republicans. So that just goes to show that we are very civic-minded. So anyway, so that's another one of your tasks on your agenda to do for the caucus, is to find election judges. Okay? All right. So far, so good. Are we back on? Is Sid